hi again, folks. I'm Greg Flynn, the Public Information Director for the City of Pearl, and welcome to This Week in Pearl. Coming up on today's show, we will chat with Mayor Jake Windham, who, well, he may have some photography skills in his future if he ever seeks a new career. We'll take a look inside the M-Braves as baseball is back, not only here in Pearl, but the entire Jackson Metro as minor league baseball returns after 611 days. We'll also take a look at some events coming up here around the city and some special recognition for some high school track teams this past week. All that and more on This Week in Pearl.
Hello, I'm Mayor Windham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Well, welcome back into This Week in Pearl. We're now going to be joined by our mayor. He is Mr. Jake Windham, and I don't know if I need to call you photographer or what, but we had two very close calls with severe weather this week. We were very, very fortunate, were we not?
We were. I walked out of church Sunday evening at 7:02, heard the sirens going off. I immediately called Brad Thornton and asked what was going on because he's our EOC director, and he told me, he said, look, we have a tornado on the ground coming from Byram, and it's tracking this way, which as soon as you hear that, then it's all hands on deck. And so I got my children home, and then I went back out and to meet. We usually stay, just as you know, at Station 1 when we have severe weather, and check everything out and pay attention to the news and see how things are going. And so I got back to the station, and Ricky Purvis, our battalion chief, he said, come out here and look at this, Mayor. It's on the back side of the fire station, and so the funnel cloud was coming in by the time I got there, and I just took a shot. Then I sent it to you, and just in amazement because the size of the cloud. And of course, I knew if the tornado came to the ground, then there's going to be a huge amount of destruction. So, first of all, we dodged the bullet, but the Lord was certainly merciful to us that day. I mean, and
well,
I'm
we
very
have
grateful for that.
We're going to show the folks your picture, and you know, you're looking out from Central Fire Station back towards I-20 over the upper elementary there, the new upper elementary. And again, we were just so fortunate because the rotation, you could see it rotating, but never touched the ground again. Came very close, but man, not only us, but Flowood and Brandon, very, very, very fortunate that night.
Yes, we were. I was just amazed about how close it was, and so relieved that it just continued to work itself throughout our city and then out of other cities. I mean, you don't want something that destructive touching down. And I've come to the realization that in Mississippi, you just never know when a tornado is going to come through. Well, I remember living on Patterson Drive. My wife recently married back in 2010. She and I came home from eating dinner with a friend of mine, and Johnny Beck and his wife, and we came home to a backyard full of pine trees on the ground when that tornado came through King Heights. So there's no seasonal accuracy for tornadoes in Mississippi. We have some severe weather here, whether it be tornadoes, hurricanes, the effects of a lot of rain. So you just always have to be ready and poised and stay weather alert. I knew that when I was a police officer, but being mayor, I'm much more conscious of it because how much it affects people all of the time and how it can affect city infrastructure and things of that nature, just everyday life. Just like this morning, I was on the phone with Dr. Morgino talking about the Pearl Lower Elementary, and ECEC was still out of power. Well, a lot of times when you have this massive amount of weather come through, you'll have large areas that are affected, then you'll have smaller areas that are not affected. So energy's concentrating on the larger mass, and then you got to make sure that you put yourself back on that radar with them to let them know. And I told I told Sheila McGinnis, she's our liaison with energy, this morning, and Dr. Morgino and I discussed it as well. At this point, when parents are going to work, the schools are the priority. The homes that are out are not, because they have to take their children, because they have to go to work. Their bosses are expecting them to be there. So energy changed their focus towards the lower elementary and ECEC instead of thinking about the affected homes, because parents aren't there. And anyway, they got the electricity back on, and I think the awards had to be rescheduled. But I mean, if you have an award ceremony, who wants to be in a hot building? So I think it was the right thing to do.
I definitely think so. I have to say, we got a lot of rain very quickly. We had straight line winds on Tuesday, and then very heavy rain. Again, no major damage throughout the city. The trees, for the most part, behaved themselves. But what we were all most impressed with is the job that Public Works has done, because we got a lot of heavy rain very fast, and we really didn't see tremendous flooding problems.
Yeah, our guys have been trained at this point over the last 3.5, 4 years. They know the affected areas that historically flood. Now, if we get a severe amount of rain and over a period of time that we can't combat, but we're always conscious, especially when weather comes in our area, that we're going to make sure that the ditches are clear, no obstruction in culverts, things of that nature, so it can flow. Hopefully, before long, we'll have less of the chance of any type of flash flooding in Pine Park and also Skyway Hills, because the Pine Park detention pond's almost complete. We have a structure we have to put in place, and then we're going to start taking down some trees for the detention pond that's going to help provide relief to Skyway Hills. However, those guys know the troubled areas, and so they dispatch to those particular areas. And a lot of times what our protocol is, and I work with Chief Scott and also Chief Thornton on it. So those areas that historically flood, we try to get emergency vehicles there first, turn the lights on, slow people down so they don't push any water. And then we're able to get Public Works in there to provide barricades. And I don't know if everybody's aware of this. It's a very effective app that we use for the city. It's called a Rainbow app, and it's through our phone system. But we have Public Works, Fire, and PD all on this app. So we're corresponding, and we're all on the same page, so we know how to react to any type of emergency situations. It's worked out really well to make sure everybody's on the same page. Everybody has radios and can call into the dispatch. However, when you have real-time situations, everybody can't talk at one time. So you have people communicating. If we have a tree down at 3258 Patterson Drive, we can respond. PD will get there to block the road, or Fire will, one of the battalion chiefs get there to block the road. Then we can get chainsaws on site. That's just an example for us to be able to respond quickly and effectively for our citizens.
Well, just a tremendous job by all those departments, and our citizens did a great job in preparing, as we didn't suffer any injuries that we're aware of, and traffic accidents were not very bad at all. So we're very, very fortunate, and we'll just wait for the next spring storm to roll through. But one thing that it did delay, we were supposed to have the Mississippi Braves home opener, season opener, on Tuesday night, but that's delayed until Wednesday night. And I know you're very excited to have baseball finally back here after 610 days.
Yeah, I think that with the Braves getting back playing, it's going to kind of a groundswell throughout the metro area. People are going to go watch baseball more so they did in the past, because we kind of took advantage of the fact that we had a minor league baseball stadium here. Prior to COVID, I think that you understand the fact that we were up 12% on the attendance, so it was growing. Pete's done a great job over there providing different events inside. He's a baseball guy, and I'm real happy with working with him day in and day out. And they've signed an additional lease for 10 years. So they're a great partner, and it's going to be a great time for families to go out, have some fun, watch some baseball, just kind of the quintessential American evening, so to speak. And I think that people are going to enjoy that. Folks are getting out a lot more on the backside of this virus. Of course, some people are still more hesitant than others, which I understand. but they're wanting to see people, and we're made to be social creatures. We can't stay at home all the time, so I'm so glad for baseball to get rolling again.
And it's a win-win because now that the Atlanta Braves have kicked their attendance up to 100%, Trustmark Park is allowed to have 100%. So not only do you have more people in the ballpark, but what you look at, more people in our city overall.
Yeah, once they come into our city, then they're going to be shopping here, doing business here, and I'll tell you this, from one thing that I picked up from the pandemic itself, people have changed their routines. And what we want to do is establish, especially with baseball coming in, for folks to routinely know they can come here and shop here and go to the Braves game. So I think that we'll probably see an influx in sales tax revenue. We have anyway over the past 2 years, expeditiously. We're doing well in that area. But that's what you want. You want people to come in your city and stay. Statistics show that if you can keep somebody in your city over 4 hours, then they're going to spend money. And that's what we want. We want to have a location where you can come watch a ball game. And I think that people know that outside of just shopping at the outlet mall, they have prided themselves on becoming an area of entertainment through the E-Plex Sports, and then you have Black Axis over there, and then you have, I believe it's called Break It. I mean, you have different things that you can do to occupy your time that's fun with your family. You know, capturing all those things, and of course, I don't ever see Sam's empty butt, or
Bass Pro.
Pat Rittiger, the GM over at Bass Pro, he said they've had a really good year. So you know, we're very blessed, and they're not only do people come in on the west side of the city, but they trickle down through the rest of Pearl, and they go on our 80 corridor. They do shopping there. Some of the data that we receive from a company that we work with on the economic development shows where reoccurring customers go within the city. So we're able to use that data for recruitment.
Well, we also have a special night. If you folks can make the homestand, this Saturday, May the 8th, is City Employee Appreciation Night. Now, the Braves love working with the City of Pearl, and they offered us this night to be able to let our employees go to the ball game for free with their family, and then some discounted tickets. Just a real nice way to say thank you to all the people, our 200-something employees that work here for the city.
That is going to be a really good evening. My family will certainly be there. I'll make sure that my kids are there, and it's going to be good to see employees outside of the realm of just always on the grind. I know that people don't live out what the city does each and every day. Sometimes we want to make sure that we communicate to our citizens, but we are on all the time, just about. I mean, and we have a tremendous group of city employees that I would match them up against any city around here in the metro area. I think that you've heard me say that the dedication and the love that they showed day in and day out, I am so grateful for them. They make my job much easier because of the fact they're going to go out and give the 100% effort. And, you know, you can't put a price tag on that. And I just think that to go and celebrate and be together and have a good time and with a fellowship and fun, that's what it's about. You know, you work hard, you play hard. Dan Wenham always told me, he said, son, he said, work hard but play hard. And that's what we're going to try to do Saturday night, and we're just going to try to hang out and make much of our city employees and everything that they do day in and day out.
Well, the good news for all of our citizens that are going to come out there, you know, thankfully Staten, your son, is playing coach pitch this year for the Voodoo, and you have been able to get a little more practice in, I think, throwing the baseball because you'll be throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, I have done a little bit more with him. He likes to frequent D-back quite a bit, and he has fell in love with the game of baseball. He's still learning. He's a little fella, but he's gotten a hit the last 2 ball games that he's played in. So I have been working with him more because obviously as a father, if you see that your son doesn't do well, then you want to say, hey, I got to provide the training and the skill set for him to get better. And I have been practicing no arm. You know, I was a baseball player at one time for a little while when I was a kid, and I always really enjoyed it. It's a very pure sport, and it's just an enjoyment. And I always relate baseball with family. I don't know why that's such. Maybe that's just something that over the years it's been ingrained in my mind for some reason, but I always really associate the two. So I will be throwing out the first pitch, and I'll see if I can put it in the strike zone.
Awesome. Awesome. We look forward to that. A couple other events I wanted to get your take on because I know you're super excited about both of them. Coming up also this Saturday during the day, you can go do this event and then go to the Braves game that night. Over at the Lost Cajun restaurant, they're going to be having a Cars and Crawfish, big car show and a crawfish boil.
Yeah, the owners there are very proactive in trying to make sure that they advertise and market and put out events for our citizens or people outside the city of Pearl that come there to eat their food and dine in. Also, a person that's really instrumental in putting that thing together was Jeff Huffmaster, and he's a local native, been in Pearl for a very long time, and Jeff does a good job with that. And he's reached out, and we've tried to do some promoting of the event. And I just like to welcome everybody out there. Try to get by there and support these events. I mean, people want events, so there's things to do in our city, but it requires our folks to go out and support these events and be there. That way it can be a reoccurring theme. Hey, we got this going on in Pearl. We have this event going on. So that ultimately increases our quality of life. There's plenty of things to do on a Saturday except for to sit around the house. So get out, push your folks out, and stop by before you go to the Braves game.
That weather's going to be beautiful, and one thing that Lost Cajun does not lack is flavor. They can spice it up for you if you need be.
Yeah, they do. Their food's great. Those guys have come into the city and really partnered with us well. We've tried to partner with them well. Also working with the Chamber. Chamber's done a good job of trying to promote and do the things that are needed during this time. So hey, get out, have a good time. What if you don't like crawfish, then still go by. They have plenty of food.
Oh, yeah. And one final thing, and I know it's springtime and we think baseball, but man, we've got spring football, and the Mississippi Dynasty will be home on May 15th right here at Shepherd Field at the City Hall Complex, and they are a phenomenal show. They put on a great show for football.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the amount of athletes that are on the Mississippi Dynasty team. You have some real studs out there. I've seen them play, and they have a lot of talent, and they're fun to watch. And it's another event. It's something that they play on Shepherd Field. It's another thing to do in the city of Pearl, to come out and watch some football in the springtime. A lot of times you don't have that. And Coach Mike Lloyd does a tremendous job with those guys. He's a Pearl graduate. And just his love for the game of football, year in, year out. How many championships have they won? I'm not sure, but they've won multiple.
Oh, they went back to back just 2 years ago.
Yeah. So if you want to see some good talent and watch some football, they need to come out to Shepherd Field on Saturday.
And a good family-friendly event too.
Right, May 15th.
May 15th, and then the following Saturday they have their final home game of the regular season. So 2 chances to catch our Mississippi Dynasty. Well, we look forward to seeing you Saturday night out at the Braves. Get that arm warmed up, baby.
I'll be there. I'll be there in my Braves jersey. I'll be ready to go. I'll just have to fight Staten from getting on the field with him. He won't understand.
All right, Mayor, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
All right, when we come back, we're going to take a close look at the M-Braves, and we're going to have Chris Harris, the communications director over there, to kind of break down what we can expect this year from the 2021 Mississippi Braves. Stay with us. This Week in Pearl continues right after this. Come find your taste buds at the Lost Cajun. Chef Charles is cooking everything to order. Cajun classics like gumbo, jambalaya, and red beans and rice. Pick your po' boy, shrimp, oyster, roast beef, or maybe gator. Proudly serving USDA farm-raised catfish. When you're done, loosen the belt up a bit for some homemade beignets. Dine in, take out, order online, and get it delivered. Reserve our party room for your group. Find your way to the Lost Cajun in Pearl and Byram. Well, hi again, folks, and welcome into a new segment that we're going to have this entire 2021 season. It is the M-Braves Insider as we get back to baseball. And joining us is the play-by-play voice of your Mississippi Braves. That's Mr. Chris Harris.
Hello, Greg. It's time to go, right?
Man,
610 days. It's been a long time.
has it really been 610 days?
That's what Google told me. So when I said take the number of days since September 2nd, 2019, that was the last time the Embrace played, September 2nd, 2019. So 610 days. And, we're looking forward to finally opening the ballpark to fans and then seeing that team come out of that dugout for the first time in a long time and get back to more sense of normalcy.
It is crazy that we have not seen our Braves on the field in that stadium in that long.
Right.
Well, the good news is, late word is that we're going to be able to have 100% capacity now at our stadium. That's got to be exciting.
The one good thing and maybe bad thing in some areas about our ballpark is it's really big. We're able to hold 8,500 people, which AAA teams don't average 8,500 fans per game. So I think it gives our fans a lot of places where they can go and not worry about some restrictions. We're going to have buffer zones around the dugouts to keep the players safe, and that'll be something that'll take some getting used to. But our Farm Bureau grill, and we have a lot of new things, but everything is going to be, for the most part, as long as we're still abiding by the health regulations with the mask wearing coming in. Once you get to your seat, you can take your mask off. But that's all coming down from Major League Baseball. This isn't an M-Braves rule. This is a rule from Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred's commissioner's office. So we wanted to abide by that. But I think, as the year goes on, as we know in every entity, especially you guys, things are fluid and they're changing rapidly right now. And thankfully, because more people are getting the vaccine. We've seen right in our parking lot, thousands and thousands and thousands of people getting vaccinated. But it's going to be different in some ways. But I think fans are really going to enjoy getting back to the stadium, seeing some of the new things, and really being back to as normal as we can be right now.
These guys, they've been without baseball, the players we're talking about, because they didn't have anywhere to play last year. Major League played, but there was no development leagues going on. And I know that they're just as excited to get back to baseball because they're going to have to work through, and you can lay this out for us, they have some unbelievable stipulations that are placed on them that's going to make them inaccessible to fans, but also inaccessible to you guys.
Exactly. It is really amazing. You go back to last summer when the NBA instituted the bubble, and it's worked. The thing about keeping players safe and COVID-free is worked. And I think the players are in the process of getting their vaccinations. I know many of them have had their first shot, awaiting their second shot. So that's good. But they're pretty much giving them the riot act about where they can go, where they can't go. You can't arrive to the clubhouse more than 5 hours in advance. Basically, there's no outdoor dining or no dining at all with family or anything like that. You're going from your apartment, your hotel, to the ballpark, back and forth. That's pretty much it. And for me, as the voice of the team, the broadcaster, the media director, I don't have access to them either. It's going to be via Zoom, at least to start the season. As more of the players get vaccinated, you hope that's going to start to change a little bit, but it's different for them. And you mentioned last year, there were some that were able to go to the alternate site in Gwinnett last year, but for the most part, there were players that had other jobs. I know several had their own baseball academies and clinics and doing things on the side just to make some money. So they're more excited, I think, than anyone. When you talk about the protocols, the season where we're playing 6-game series, with every Monday being off, I think they're willing right now, and it really goes to show how they performed in spring training, that they're just ready to play ball, play against somebody other than themselves. So I'm happy for those guys because, with the reshaped minor leagues, they're getting a chance to make a little bit more money, and, getting them back on the field gives them the opportunity to show what they have, whether they're a prospect necessarily or not, and have that chance to move along in the organization because they missed that last year.
Well, there will be a few familiar faces that fans may recognize when they take the field on Tuesday night. Who are some of the guys that we should be looking out for?
Right. I think, we're going to have 7 or 8 of the top 30 prospects when you look at the MLB.com rankings for the Atlanta Braves. But I think right off the bat, Shea Langeliers is a player we've heard about for a couple of years since he was the 9th overall pick in the first round back in 2019, the star catcher out of Baylor, one of the top catchers really of the last 20 years in college baseball. Threw out 54% of his base stealers his final year at Baylor, and he can hit. He can hit a lot. This spring, he's had a phenomenal spring training. He hit in big league camp as well, but he's going to be the guy to watch. If you're a prospect fan, he's number 2 or number 3 on the prospect list, I think, for most entities. But he's sitting there at 23 years old. He's knocking on the door. Another first-round pick, Braden Shoemake, who we got a taste of back in 2019. He was the 21st overall pick in that 19 draft, first round, by the Braves that year. So he'll be probably your shortstop to start the season. So you have 2 first-round picks, and then you feature some familiar players around him like Grayson Genesta, who was an outfielder, now playing first base. Trey Harris, the minor league player of the year in the organization in 2019, didn't get a promotion. He's back here at Double-A. It's amazing to see some of the players that didn't advance just because there's just such a logjam of talent in the organization. Would you look at him? Justin Dean, likely our center fielder, stole 45 bases in 2019. Wow. He's got some pop. He had 9 home runs. He's added to his power numbers. Tyler Neslony will be back as well. But there's so many interchangeable pieces. CJ Alexander, who we saw a little bit, he was injured in 2019 a little bit, but CJ will be back. And then the pitching staff, you're going to have a mix. You're going to see someone like Josh Graham coming in relief. A starting rotation that's pretty much going to be new to Double-A. Some experienced players that got a chance at the alternate site last year. Nolan Kingham, who's out of the University of Texas. You have Victor Vodnik, who's a top 15 prospect in the organization. Hayden Deal, who was one of the top pitchers in the organization in 2019 as well. So there's going to be a lot of great arms. That radar gun is going to be lit up. There's some players that can throw, you've got several that are going to be 97 to over 100 miles an hour.
Wow. Well, and when you say a lot of those names, a lot of our folks here may say, well, I've never really heard of that guy, or who is that? But let's remember,
sure,
if you watch Bally Sports South right now and the Atlanta Braves on a nightly basis, it's all M-Braves. It's all former M-Braves. Ian Anderson, Acuna, Albies, Freeman. It's just
Swanson. Yeah.
It's Swanson. It's fantastic that we get to see them as their career is budding. So when you talk about somebody like Langeliers, you know that he's probably going to be the future. They're hoping that he's a catcher for the future of the big league club.
Sure, and that's it's one of the things about the minor leagues that's so fantastic is the fact that you get to know these players before they reach that pinnacle. So when you watch them on SportsCenter, you watch them on Bally Sports, you can say, oh, I know him. I watched him play in down the street. So you have that personal relationship with them in a way, and you just watch that Braves team, what an unbelievable job Ian Anderson's doing. He did something the other day, first 10 starts that hadn't been done in over a century.
Yeah, like 1920. They said,
Huascar Ynoa, who was
here too.
Was here with us briefly because he was on a fast trajectory. Might be one of the breakout stars in the National League this year. Christian Pache, who started the year as a starting center fielder, a little bit banged up right now, so he's down at the alternate training site, but he should be back up there, just maybe take a little bit more time. But yeah, you look around that infield, Freddie Freeman was here in 2009. Ozzie Albies was here in 2016. Swanson here in 2016. Austin Riley here in 2018 and 2019. Or 2017, 2018. And then, of course, Ronald Acuna Jr., who was here for a month and a half, but still was good enough to be the minor league player of the year.
Absolutely.
In 2017.
And long enough for us to get a bobblehead of Acuna.
Right, yeah, a few.
So, man, it's going to be very exciting. And, it is different. You mentioned it a little bit, that the way that the schedule is going to be this year is 6 straight games at home when you have a homestand. Every Monday during the season, this team will be off. So when they're here for 6 straight nights, no matter what. When they're gone for at least 6 straight nights. But we're going to have a great chance to see these guys the first month of the season, because 3 out of the 4 weeks are right here at home. 3
of the first 4 homestands are right here. Our only road trip is to Biloxi, that second homestand. I think 42 of our first 48 games of the season, we don't leave the state of Mississippi. So the schedule works out nice for travel purposes as well for the team. But, you know, that Monday off, I think, gives everybody a chance to know you're going to have that off day, to regroup, to travel if necessary, if it's a long bus ride for the team. I think that's been really well received across the Miners.
So we're going to open up on Tuesday night. It is the homestand May 4th through the 9th. We're going to be playing the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, who are the AA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. And Chris, we've got some great promotions that you all are going to, if we could go through the calendar for folks that want to come to that first homestand. You know, we'd like you to come to all 6, but if not, you can pick out the one that's got the favorite things going on for you.
Yeah, and by the way, you know, Pensacola, they're brand new now as a Miami Marlins affiliate. They've always sort of, since I've been in the league, been in Jacksonville. So Pensacola, now a Miami Marlins affiliate. They have some really talented players as well. J.J. Bleday, one of the top players in all of baseball, top 20 consensus, an outfielder, can really hit. So you get a chance to see those other guys too. But this first homestand, you know, opening night, what more can you say? It's a promotion all in itself. We have a ton of things planned. The Dixieland jazz band, the Jackson All-Stars, will be performing out in front of the gates to kind of create a festive atmosphere. When you walk through the gates, you can get a 2021 magnet schedule, and then, of course, you know, just take in opening night, move around the stadium and see a lot of the new things that we have. On Wednesday, every Wednesday throughout the season is First Responders Day. All first responders plus healthcare workers, military veterans will get a complimentary ticket. Just show your badge or ID at the box office. And then all season long, any first responder, military veteran, police, fire, can get a $5 ticket at the box office just by showing that they are a first responder. Thursday, the return of Thirsty Thursday.
The favorite of everybody.
I think that's the big thing everybody's excited about. $2 beers and $2 soft drinks, 16 ounces. Fountain drinks, and that should be a lot of fun. On Friday, we're giving away M-Braves tube socks, those sports socks. Basically, it's kind of like the baseball socks. It's presented by Farm Bureau, so those are really cool. All ages, you can enjoy those. Saturday, our first post-game fireworks show of the season, and it's been too long since we've had post-game fireworks at Trustmark Park. And then Sunday is Mother's Day. We're going to be doing a few things for moms. We're having a Mother's Day brunch. You can contact our food and beverage director, Felicia Thompson, felicia.thompson@braves.com. It's around 12:30. There's a breakfast menu, but if your mom, you want to treat her well, bring her out to the ballpark. We'll feed you guys and give her a special moment. Also, the first 200 moms will get a flower as they come through the gates as well. So jam-packed first homestand with promotions, and really, you look at our promotional schedule in all, I knew we had some good stuff, but just to see it on paper, it was like, wow. You know, there's a lot of things for fans.
You had a year to save up, right?
And that's true. And a lot of the things that we're doing this year were planned for last year when things got shut down in mid-March. You know, we had planned to do that Christian Pache bobblehead, which will be given away in August this year. We're going to be doing a Drew Waters Southern League MVP statue later in the season as well. That hasn't even been announced yet, but it'll be coming as well. Beach towel giveaway, several hats, the Deion Sanders special, the little floppy hats. We'll be giving those away also. So there's something really for everybody. Kids backpack later on in the season. And then one thing that we were really excited we got permission to do was to do Kids Run the Bases. So every Friday night and Sunday after the day games, kids can line up and just like they've always done and get a chance to run the bases. And one of the perks of being a M-Braves Kids Club member is you get to be first in line. And Kids Club memberships are free. There's an all-star package where you can pay $25, get a little extra perks, but become a Kids Club member and you can be first in line for Kids Run the Bases. So I can't wait to see that. I mean, minor league baseball is all about families and fun. I think when I look out there on Friday night and seeing those kids run the bases, I'm going to think, man, we're back. Yeah, that's cool.
And Trusty's back too, right?
Trusty's been causing some problems. You know, we put him in charge of selling tickets, and that didn't go so well. You know, minor league baseball is experimenting with so many rules, you know, so we thought we'd experiment with some rules in the front office. We put our mascots in charge of selling tickets one day, and it just didn't work. So Trusty's going to stay our director of fun and entertaining fans. We're going to keep him at that.
Well, he does a great job with those kids. I tell you, they absolutely love Trusty. What's the best way for people to get tickets this year?
Yeah, and we really encourage fans to utilize the mobile ticketing as well. I mean, you buy your tickets online through the website, through Ticketmaster, MississippiBraves.com. They'll send you your tickets right to your phone, and all you have to do is take your phone to the gate, and all they do is scan that little barcode that's on your phone. So we really encourage that. We're printing the if you want your printed ticket as well, we're doing that also. But go to MississippiBraves.com, grab those tickets. If you buy in advance, you save up to $5 from the day of game price. So we're really encouraging our advanced ticket sales, and then utilize that mobile ticketing right here from your phone. You just download your ticket right there. It'll send it right to it. Hit a button and boom, and they'll scan it right at the gate. And
contactless.
Right in. Yeah, and you know, that's one of the neat things amongst all the bad stuff about this past year is we're really learning some innovative ways to make it easier on people, to not have to go by the box office necessarily to pick up your ticket.
Well, I also like the fact that you have some really nice packages for people that want to get some flex plans for the year. Certainly season tickets if you're up for that, but at least with some mini plans too. Talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, flex plans are basically undated tickets. If you buy a 12-game flex plan or above, there's a 12, there's a 25, there's a 35. We also have a 4. But if you buy 12 and up, it gives you 2 complimentary tickets for opening day and our Memorial Day fireworks show, 2 of our bigger dates of the year. So you get those as extras on top of the amount of tickets you purchase with a flex plan. But just call our office, 888-BRAVES-4, and they'll hook you up with a flex plan. Plus, you save from that game day price as well. If you know you're going to come to a game, you don't necessarily know how many people or what day it is, those are great to buy because you can get a 4-game flex plan. You could come to 4 games by yourself, or you could bring 4 to 1 game. You know, same goes for the higher numbers. So I think that's really a cool aspect of the flex plan is you can buy the tickets, save off the game day price, plus, you know, have that flexibility in when you use them and how you use those tickets.
Well, at a minimum, we'll have 60 home games, barring some playoffs, which we always
we don't know. We may just the best record. We're gonna say, hey, you're the champs. That's one thing we're still trying to figure out. I got an email from a Braves executive asking if we're going to have the DH this year a couple weeks ago, and I was like,
"You tell me."
I don't know. I mean, usually when 2 NL teams play, the pitcher bats, but otherwise. But I think we're going to use the universal DH this year, except for the only team I think that decided not to go along was the Marlins, but only when one of their 40-man roster guys is pitching. That may have gone over some heads, but look forward to not watching the pitcher bat when you come to Trustmark Park.
But you like to watch
him
bunt at least, nothing else, just play the bunt.
Hey, if you get to extra innings, runner at second base will probably bunt to move them over.
Hey, you know what? With Inoa, he's hitting home runs left and right. So I mean,
that's true. For every 100 at bats, there's usually 1 decent one. You know, with a pitcher. Well, no offense, I was a pitcher one time.
Well, we look forward to it. I'm so excited that we get to have baseball back. I know you are too, and. You know, folks can, even while they're in the stadium, can listen to you do the broadcasts. What radio station will you be on?
103.9 WYAB, and of course now, I mean, TuneIn Radio app. There's just so many options. You just go to our website, you can click on it. But TuneIn Radio, you download that. It's just 1 click away. The MILB First Pitch app. That's a cool app if you're a fan of ours to get on. Just download it. It's free at the Google Store, iTunes Store. And then also download our podcast, the Big Show Podcast.
It's really good.
On iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all those. We have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to have probably some players do some hosting segments with that. You know, it's a year to be creative, so we're trying to be as creative as possible.
Well, Tuesday night, May 4th, gets it all started. We are so happy that your home is also here in Pearl.
Absolutely. And you guys of the city have been phenomenal. I've worked for 3 different minor league teams, and the way that the city works with the team and just really the flow. I mean, it's just effortless, you know, with what you guys, it's a great partnership, and you know, we really appreciate that, and it works well for both of us, and this team, you know, being here for people here, you know, one of the teams I worked for prior, the Jackson Generals, lost their team last year. So it's important to support the team and you know, get out there and help us out, support us, and we hope to be here for a long, long time.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for coming
You got
in.
it.
Look forward to talking to you throughout the season. All right, so May 4th gets it started. May 4th to 9th. If you can't make one night, make sure you hit the homestand one night of those 6 first games. This is M-Braves Insider. We'll talk to you again soon.
WPBP and PMB-TV would like to thank our latest sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts is located at 403 Riverwind Drive. With over 32 different types of donuts, they can take care of your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can now choose from their menu of sandwiches, wraps, and muffins. And don't forget the drinks. Along with coffee, espressos, and lattes for your morning drive, they also have soft drinks, cold brew coffees, and smoothies. The Pearl Pirates run on Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, before we go today, I want to let you know that we've got some special recognition for over at Pearl High School, as we've got some great track athletes. We all know that, but this year, the boys team, track team, won the 6A state championship. So congratulations to those young men. And the ladies, well, they didn't do too shabby either. They just missed winning the state title, and they finished second. So big congratulations out there to our 6A state track team, as the tradition continues over there with Coach Barnett. Well, that's going to do it for us here on This Week in Pearl. Remember, folks, every time you come to Pearl, remember, it is the jewel of the Crossroads.